It's 105.5 WDHA, the morning show with Jim Monahan and JoHo, and we want to welcome a new sponsor here to DHA. Mark and Arch, they are the co-founders of Old Line Spirits. Gentlemen, good morning and welcome.
Morning, guys.
Morning. Morning.
So we have a couple of samples of your product here today.
Yeah, we do.
Let's start with the lighter one first.
Okay, fine.
Tell us about this.
So what you have there are two expressions of our flagship whiskey at Old Line Spirits. So we're a distillery in Baltimore, Maryland. Arch and I are the co-founders, like you mentioned, and we're in a new category of American single malt whiskey. So where this is going to differ from other American whiskeys you've had is it's made only with malted barley, which is a very premium grain, and it gives it a very, very distinct kind of toffee, biscuity flavor that you don't get in other American whiskeys like bourbon and rye. The bourbon and rye are wonderful. This is very, very nicely different. So we're taking the concept of what the Scots would make with a single malt Scotch. We're doing a non-smoky single malt, but where we differ from the Scots is that we're aging it in the American style, which is in a virgin oak barrel, a virgin American oak barrel. And that gives it a lot of the kind of caramel and vanilla, things like that you are used to in a bourbon. So really we're making a single malt whiskey for the American palate. That's the high level right there.
First thing I did when we got the bottle and we opened it up was
get the nose.
Just smell. Oh, it smells so good.
The nose is incredible. I thank you. I appreciate that. And it that really is what draws people in. Is that first nose. We get that comment quite a bit. So the white label in front of you, Jim, that's the 86 proof expression.
Sorry, I got FedEx, of course, is showing up right now.
Listen, at this hour of the morning, 86 proof might be all I can handle.
Yeah, well, you might be surprised.
This is the Cask Strength. This is the one that's 121 proof and some change. I've had this, and you mentioned that this is actually one of your best sellers, if not your best seller here in New Jersey.
It is.
We like it strong up here.
You do. I've been impressed. I'd say down here in Maryland, we sell a good amount of it, but people lean towards the 86 proof. But in Jersey, you guys don't fool around. It's been, and I think that's our best expression. With the higher proof stuff, you get a little more of a kick to it, but you also get a lot more flavor and complexity because all that aroma is much more concentrated. And the more you smell, the more you're going to ultimately taste.
That's what I really liked about this is you mentioned the smoky flavor of the other whiskeys and bourbons. I didn't notice that here, but you can definitely taste all the caramel, the syrup, and the spices.
Sure.
And it's very sweet, but when you drink it, it's got that extra pop that a real whiskey drinker wants.
100%. The other thing at the back end, the finish, Arch describes it best, where we think that one is particular. It leaves you wanting another sip. So it's got that nice finish, and it lingers just long enough to make you want one more sip. And I think that's
Mark and Arch, our guests this morning here at 105.5 WDHA, the co-founders of Old Line Spirits. How long has the company been around? Tell us the history of what you've been doing.
So we've been around, Arch and I started this in 2014, so about 6 years, pushing 7 years. And it's a pretty interesting story in that Arch and I are both veterans. So we both used to fly in the Navy together. That's how we originally met. And after a couple of years in the civilian world, we decided we wanted to start a distillery, and the idea was to start something from scratch. And as it turned out, we ended up bumping into two gentlemen at a conference who were Vietnam vets, and they were looking to sell their business out near Seattle. One of them was terminally ill, unfortunately, but we hit it off with them. As kind of vets do, you get to know each other pretty quickly, and that kind of bond of trust and whatnot. And Arch and I ended up going out there, living in the guest house of one of the guys and apprenticing and learning how to make the whiskey. So we've been at it for 6 years, but we took over a very small, but an existing business that has been around since, was it 2008, Arch?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so this business has been around, and we kind of adopted it from our forebears. We moved it to Baltimore, rebranded it and whatnot.
What was the learning curve like for you guys, learning how to distill your own whiskey?
It was steep. I mean, we were getting up at 4:30 in the morning, going to bed at 9:30, 10 o'clock at night.
That's like us.
Yeah, right. It was almost like us in our 20s, except for we get up a little bit later. But,
yeah, right.
It was a pretty steep curve, and we were making the same thing every day. We didn't have a whole lot to go on. We were technical people based on what we did in the military, so we understand processes and importance of identifying, what's critical in a chain like making whiskey. But yeah, we kind of started with no knowledge and built ourselves up pretty quickly. We ended up working with some friends of ours out in Columbus, Ohio as well. They kind of gave us a graduate level course on distilling at Middle West Spirits. So we worked with them for a couple of years too, off and on. And they really kind of rounded out our education.
Mark and Arch from Old Line Spirits, they're the co-founders, our guests this morning here at 105.5 WDHA on the Morning Jolt. John, you had their social media up. There's a couple of
I still do, actually.
events coming up that we wanted to talk about.
Old Line Spirits on Instagram, and I'm going through, and it makes sense that you guys, obviously in the Navy, hit and whiskey, so high intensity interval training, and you drink whiskey afterwards. That sounds like a Navy thing to me.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we've had a couple of kind of physical fitness style events followed up with cocktails afterward. They've been pretty popular. Mark came up with an idea on Saturdays. Our bar here is open of doing a noon workout and then straight into afternoon drinks.
I'll be right there.
We see who's really dedicated.
Yeah.
So some people go home and take a shower and start their day. Others just right in their workout clothes into having some beers and whiskey cocktails.
November 7th, I'm also seeing here your Double Oak series. Talk to us about that one too.
Yeah, so this is something we've been doing for a couple of years, and this is what we do is we take our mature whiskey and we'll finish it in different types of oak. In this case, these are used sherry wine casks. So we did a sherry wine finish in 2018, and that sold out very, very quickly. So we doubled the volume. We got 4 barrels instead of 3 barrels, and we're releasing that this November after another 2 years. So we think it's going to be wildly popular. And actually, the FedEx guy just dropped off our boxes, so they look pretty good.
Now, you mentioned you're both Navy veterans, and you guys at Old Line Spirits are one of our sponsors for Veterans Day here at WDHA. Talk to us about the importance of that, of being a veteran, and what all that means to you.
I mean, I think it's a big part of, to speak for both of us, I mean, our identity. We don't, we're not the kind of guys who pound our chest, so to speak, but it is, it's a critical part of our DNA. I mean, Arch and I think that we can attribute the successes we've had with the business, a tremendous amount of that to our experience in the Navy. Just the ability, the discipline, the processes, the humility, frankly. I mean, this, things you kind of learn the hard way in the military, I think we've been able to use to our advantage in the civilian world. And the bond, like we ended up, one example is that, Arch and I started this with our own money, but also we needed more money than we had ourselves. And we were very careful. We didn't ask our friends for money, but of course you get one of your Navy buddies saying, "Hey, you're starting a distillery. Do you guys need cash?" Well, yeah, we do. And when they came to us, we'd be more than willing to talk to them about investing. And it turned out that I think after the first year, I think we were, including us, like 95% veteran owned. It was, basically, guys we flew with, my father-in-law who's a vet, guys like that decided, hey, this is something that we want to be part of. And they've been wonderful. So it really, but that bond of trust and, again, the discipline and things you learn, all those things have been huge to us. I don't know if you'd add to that.
That's perfect.
What was it about the Navy that attracted you, of all the branches?
Well, my father was a Marine, and he said, "Do not do that."
Bellhop line?
Yeah. He was in artillery, and he got a lot out of it, but I think he took a look at me and knew that life, I was not built for that kind of lifestyle. For me, I was an engineer in school, and I wanted to do something technical, and I like the water. So I went the Navy track, and my original community was submarines. And I got a bad grade in one of my engineering classes, and they uninvited me from the submarine community. But the aviation community was like, "That's just fine with us. We'll take a sea level engineer."
Anyway.
I'm going to try some of this one. Yeah, my dad was in fact, my dad and his dad were both Navy veterans. My dad served on a cruiser, I believe, the USS Leyte, which was an aircraft carrier during the end of the Second World War. So.
Wow.
Got a lot of Navy history in my family. So this is the stronger of the two?
That's the stronger, but that's a Cask Strength. So for the people watching who, don't know whiskey quite as well, whiskey comes out of the barrel very strong, and 99% of whiskeys on the shelf are proofed down. So there's basically a little bit of water added to it to bring it down to like a target strength, where the distiller thinks, okay, that's kind of where we think it is, it might shine the best or whatever. But for the people who, like us, who like that stronger kick and really want the purest expression, that's the Cask Strength. That's that blue label there. It's out of the barrel with nothing done to it except really put in the bottle. So
I like my stuff neat. You guys say 1 ice cube will do you.
It depends on when I'm drinking it. I mean, I love to drink whiskey neat, but with something this strong, sometimes I'll put a little bit of water in there just to open it up, or maybe 1 little ice cube. But that's just personal style. To each his own. We're big proponents of drink it how you like it. We don't shame anybody who does this or that. Hey, if you like it, and go for it. Yeah.
For WDHA listeners who want more information about Old Line Spirits, where do they go?
Well, they can go to our website, which is oldlinespirits.com. And also Instagram and Facebook will be at Old Line Spirits, right, Arch?
Yep.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you so much. This is amazing. I'm taking it home with me.
He's not kidding.
It's yours.
Yeah.
Cheers, and thank you
you,
again
guys.
for joining us here.
Thank you, gentlemen, very much.
Have a great morning.